What you can see on the screen in front of you now is the Tor browser bundle. You may already be familiar with Tor. It's an acronym for the Onion Router, commonly referred to as an anonymity network. It consists of many thousands of nodes by which users' traffic is anonymously routed such that their source identity shouldn't be able to be tracked. Within the Tor ecosystem, there are various online markets designed to run in a fashion that's very difficult to trace back the origin. We're looking at one of those marketplaces now, one of the most popular ones, and due to the nature of the material which is traded on this marketplace, I've obfuscated the name and the URL. But what I will say is this is just one of many, and I've chosen this one because it gives a really good example of just how commoditized our identities are. In fact, let me give you an example of how stolen identities are traded on this site. If we scroll down a little, we can see the categories of goods that are traded on the site. Drugs, counterfeit items, weapons. This is an underground black market, and it's very easily accessible. Accessing a Tor hidden service is as simple as downloading the Tor browser bundle and going to the URL. Now, what I'm particularly interested in showing you here is what's available within the fraud category. Within the more than 12,000 items here, we can see categorizations such as accounts and bank drops, CVV and cards, dumps, personal information and scans. All of this is stolen data put up for sale by online criminals. In fact, we can see here the first item in the search results is a credit card. In fact, if we scroll down a bit, we can see that there are many items for sale that contain credit card data. This is from many different sellers as well. If we drill down on an item, such as this one, we'll see that in many ways, this is reflective of a normal marketplace. We have a seller, we have their selling history, we have rating or trust levels, and of course, we have a purchase price. In many ways, this is not dissimilar to stores that you and I have used many times before. It just happens to be trading in stolen data. Now, this is just credit cards. Let's drill down and look at personal information and scans. When we have a look at these search results, we start to understand the seriousness of what's on offer. USA profiles, social security numbers, dates of birth, and all of this at only $1 something per identity. That's how cheap it can be to purchase this information and then use that to engage in serious identity theft, because this is the sort of information which is then used to go and get a loan or go and get a credit card. Now you'll notice that the prices here differ as well. Some data is worth more than other data. Very often, identities are categorized by attributes such as the location they appear in. A US identity is worth a lot more than identities from emerging markets. Even particular states or particular cities that the identities come from can be worth more than other locations. And this really demonstrates just how commoditized these identities become. All of these things have a very carefully calculated worth. And that value goes up and down depending on the state of the market as well. For example, after large credit card breaches where there's a flood of supply, just like other commodities that suddenly have a high degree of availability, the price is driven down. In leaner times, when there are less available, the price gets driven back up. It's market forces at play, just like they are with any other tradable commodity. Here's something else that's interesting around the way identities are priced. This is quite insightful, and it shows just how valuable our online accounts can be. We normally think about a credit card as being the thing that we've got to really carefully protect and look after, because after all, that is the thing which can be immediately monetized. But they can only be monetized up until the point where they're cancelled, and they very often have limits that an identity thief will hit very early on. Now compare that to credentials for something like Twitter, which are inevitably reused across all sorts of other services. The breadth of potential attacks that the social engineer has are significantly higher. Controlling a victim's credentials And being able to log into services as them is an enormously valuable thing for online criminals. I want to go and talk you through an example of this, a perfect example of identity theft via account takeover, and show you just how valuable someone's credentials can be.